What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Bravo Zulu podcast. Woo! Today we're trying something different. We're stepping way outside of the normal lane of things. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the country. I think I'm standing on a sturdy branch here, sturdy limb. Maybe, but I'm a heavy fella, so I'm going to put it to its test. So the question on the back behind me, it kind of prompted in a buddy's post that I saw, and it wasn't just that, but that's what I got from it. And the question kind of like was that, like, where are the Christians? Where are the Christians at speaking up and rising up and to help these hurt, disenfranchised, like just all these other words that I don't know. All right, my brain's not big enough to think of right now. But pretty much what it pointed to me was like that Christians should be stepping up to help the illegal immigrants. Is kind of what I took away from it. I'm reading into it because it wasn't so much said, but I know the guy decently well and see his posts regularly and everything, and where there's like that, you remember that commercial for the Super Bowl a couple of years ago about like all these different people washing feet, and it was like Jesus washed feet, and it got a lot of backlash talking about, well, you know, that's how everyone should be acting, is like we should be like Jesus and cater to all these other people, which I'm not saying we should or shouldn't right now, not yet, but that's what I kind of got from the post, right? And so it just got me thinking about this whole, you know, what's happened in the news. A couple weeks ago, it was the lady in the car getting shot. Just yesterday, it was a gentleman. Excuse me. It was a gentleman that got shot out on the street. I'm sorry. And fuck, man, like fucking crazy shit going on, right? We look overseas to see these things. These. We look to Iran and we see them rioting and fucking rising up, and we got, you know, people, the president, people tell me if Iran hurts any of them, we're going in there. And well, by some reports, some thousands, if not tens of thousands, were killed in those protests trying to raise up against their government, which is going to happen if you raise up against the government. You got to be expecting casualties there. But then on the other hand, it's like, what are we doing? Like, let's, you know, it's that, before you look at the splinter in somebody else's eye, look at the log in yours, you know, check your own shit first there, buddy. And so what's going on here is kind of what I want to dive into. And then we're going to maybe try to, I can't answer the question behind me. Well, I can, but I don't. We're going to talk about the question behind me. But first, let's get into what's been happening as I see it. From a very I'm not taking political side. Like this is about as raw, Josh, as you might get. I got my list here. Media division, right? If you're watching the news, whatever side you're watching, there are sides. Channels are only giving you POV and perspective from the side that they want to push, from the agenda they want to push. So if you're watching that news, right, you might want to log off of it. You might want to find other places. You might want to watch the other side, or just don't believe it. Do not believe the news. The news is not objective anymore. The news is just a propaganda machine for all sides to push their agenda of whoever is paying them off the most. We saw it during previous pandemics. We see it every fucking time something in the news goes crazy. There's a shooting, there's a this, there's that. It happens every time. Both places, like they fucking just dig in, entrench themselves, and they're like, this is the line we're taking. And usually it's one is going to support the government and the one's not going to support the government. And it flip-flops every fucking time with the change of whoever's in the top dog chair in the presidential chair. It absolutely go through the history of my adulthood, and it's always flip-flopping. You can see it out there, man. You can see how when you look up how Hillary and Obama were talking about immigration, it's very not different from how Trump talks about immigration, right? Except Trump has taken it to the next level with the immigration force, which if you go watch, there's still old videos and news out there of showing police making raids, except, like I said, now we're taking it to the next level, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. All right, so the media, I don't even call it the news. It's just the media propaganda machines, all of them. CNN, MSNBC, NBC, CBS, CNBC, Fox, it don't matter, man. It does not matter. If you're watching them, you're just watching the echo chamber of that side. So why? I would definitely look into some other news outlets. The one I watch is Breaking Points. It is a conservative and a liberal sitting down at the desk together talking about the topics. Sometimes they disagree very much. Sometimes they agree, they cover whatever news they want to cover for that day, right? It's their own independent show. Highly recommend it. They got some other people on there. There's 4 in rotation, and they're both 2 left, 2 right, conservative, liberal, Republican, Democrat, whatever you want to say. And it's really good. Highly recommend. It's Breaking Points on YouTube. Highly recommend that. I watch that like every other day, sometimes every day, depending on how much I need to take myself away from the news. And again, that's one of my biggest points here is no matter, even them, like, it's not as propagandized, but they are taking sides and trying to explain how their side sees the impact of whatever's happening. A lot better, though, because it's since it's on YouTube, right, and it's a subscription model, like the people are paying them, so they have no advertisements, they have no ads at all. Not this is sponsored by these people or that people, so they're not held to anybody, any company saying, hey, we're going to pull our ad dollars from you, which affects your livelihood if you don't, we're going to pull the ad dollars if you keep talking about that, right? So, really good channel. Check it out. All right, so that's the media. All right, another part here. Government overreach, okay? Not a lawyer. This is not a legal advice or legal fucking perspective. I'm just a dummy, okay? But at some point, we the people, all right, I say that intentionally, right? Like, we the people need to realize how much our government is actually starting to overreach and push the boundary. And you can call them laws, right? But at some point, like, if there's laws against everything, it starts to kind of look like, some books that you read in high school. You know what I'm saying? If there's a law against every different kind of form of communication or speech, then we need to ask ourselves, do we really have free speech? If you can't say, think of whatever you want to say, right? Then we don't have free speech. If you can't say, I don't like that person, I don't like that person, I like this one, I like that one, I don't agree, I do agree, I think that's stupid, I think that person in that office is dumb, and I don't agree with this rule or law that's being passed. If you can't say those things, then we really need to ask ourselves, do we have free speech? Or is that free speech being slowly and methodically taken away, passed through laws after law after law, to make us feel more secure and safe, but really it's just we're being controlled. Okay, now how are they doing that? One, with the passing of several laws, you could look up Florida. I think there's several states that have passed several different just recently. I think Florida is one of the biggest because I saw it in the news. Go figure, right? But it was about how, like Instagram news, some other places that I follow, Ron DeSantis signing like an anti-Semitism bill in Israel, but it's a law for Florida. That, what? Why are we doing that? Why is an American governor in a foreign country signing laws there for us? That's weird. I don't get it. Maybe Floridians need to do something about it and vote a different way. I don't know. There's another young gentleman there that I saw on Tucker Carlson that seemed pretty upbeat. You check it out. I'm not a resident of Florida. You got to do your own thing. But so the government overreach. So there's a lot of censorship happening, right? The AI censorship. Okay. Whatever gets posted on YouTube can be taken down. Whatever you post on X, Twitter, whatever you post on your Facebook, like all that is being watched and analyzed, and you say the wrong thing and it's going to be taken away. Is it really free speech then? Right? If these companies, what is that? There's an article like 232 or 32 or something. Like, is it, are those websites, right? Those apps or whatever, are they publishers? Or are they not publishers? Are you the publisher of your speech? So they can't be held accountable for your speech. But if they can't be held accountable, how can they restrict your speech? Right? If you're going to restrict my speech, then you should be held accountable. You're taking responsibility away from me, right? Because you're enforcing stuff. But, all that. I forget what it is. Article something. It's been in the news in the last, 10 years. It comes and goes every now and then. Depending on who's in office and who wants to enforce it, and then how much money those motherfucking weirdos, what's the dude's name? Meta Facebook dude, how much they start paying to the politicians for this to go away for a little bit longer. And 2 new politicians come in and they're like, let's bring it up again. All right. Let's talk about overreach and how everything here domestically is becoming domestic terrorism, right? The Patriot Act after 9/11, it was really easy during the GWAT time frame around the world to call anything terrorism, and we were going after it as military, as someone serving in the military. That's what it was, right? Oh, there's terrorists linked to this group in this other country somewhere else. Fuck it, go get them. Terrorism here, go get them. And the whole world seemed to be on board with it. Everyone. If there was terrorism, we were hunting them down and killing them because we couldn't have that. Except, look where we're at 25 years later, almost. Right? Al-Qaeda in charge of Afghanistan. What is it? We put the ISIS dude or Al-Qaeda guy, one of them, in charge of Syria. Syria's still fucking going crazy right now, right? And he was the one that was just in the Oval Office 2 months ago or something, the president of Syria, and everyone's like, yay! And then some of the news channels were like, you guys know this was the guy that was on our top 50 most wanted that we were hunting, trying to kill, and I think he even spent some time in fucking Cuba with us, but now he's the president in the Oval Office, and we're chumming it up. Crazy take. But all that now, terrorism is being applied here domestically, and you see after these events in Minneapolis how the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, is like, oh, this is domestic terrorism. Everything is coming out as domestic terrorism. If you just listen, when you are watching the news, if you listen to the words, right, and they say it more than twice, it's because that's a signal that they're trying to send to you to link these words. Both sides do it. The right side is saying domestic terrorism because they want the right side believers to think, oh no, we're scared. Because that's what terrorism is supposed to do. It's supposed to put fear into you to think that anything of this could happen. It happened after 9/11. For us that are old enough, right? Terrorism was on everyone's mind. I flew a lot during that time. You always thought, damn, at any time they could take a plane. And I'm on that plane. The plane I'm on right now could be the one, right? Oh, no, they could blow this up. They could blow that up. And it still happens on the right side, right, where there's people talking about there's secret cells within America of foreign terrorists just waiting to be fucking triggered, and boom, they're going to take us. Maybe it's true. I don't know. I have no idea. I wouldn't put it past anyone. But now also we're flipping it to the right side to be or the right side's flipping and adding domestic to the label to say, well, and they're applying it's mostly to the left, right? Opposite of the same coin. Look at the domestic terrorists. They're here terrorizing our federal agents. The one that happened yesterday, what's the words? This gentleman, from what I read, Air Force veteran, nurse working at the VA, doing whatever he needs to do to, provide for his life. Cool. He's a domestic terrorist. He had a pistol and 2 mags and was looking to, what they say, massacre law enforcement. Well, I'm no massacre expert. I see a lot of it in the news in the Middle East, though. And I think you need more than a pistol and two mags, especially when you have like whole squads of federal agents out there with a lot more armament. Just saying. I'm not taking sides. I'm just saying it sounds like a crock of shit. Okay. It sounds like something that again, it's the agenda. Back to number one, the agenda and propaganda that they're trying to push to put us in this mindset. We, the people, they're trying to control us and put us in this mindset to be scared of this. Now, I would not recommend going out on the street and protesting. I would not recommend going out on the street to counter protest. I'm kind of the person where it's like, I got a job and I got to be there Monday, so I'm going to spend it with my family, right? We'll keep going. The domestic terrorism, right? So that's being applied very generally. And the thing is, like, once those titles get applied, those titles do not go away. It doesn't matter what side you take. The other side then uses it and applies it to who they don't like. So if we're talking about the government is up there applying domestic terrorism to just whatever they want, whatever they think it is, as some people said, they get to define it. When a new president comes in, which a new president will come in, because this is their second term, so there will be a new president. I'm not saying who it's going to be. I have the crystal ball. I could tell you, but I'm not going to. They're going to do the same thing, right? And they've already tried several times. But for the opposite side, to them it makes more sense, right? Because it's going to be the right, the radical right. And this is kind of where we get into the question on the board a little bit, right? The Christian nationalists. It's going to be the right-wingers, the Second Amendment type that love their guns, who are proud to have their guns for hunting or otherwise, for tyrannical or defense of a tyrannical government, right? Like all that, right? It's going to be the same thing, and they're just going to create more laws to try to take those things away. Right. So right now we see it kind of being applied to the First Amendment, where you can't say things. Let's say the next president is a Democrat who's anti-gun, maybe someone like Gavin Newsom. They're going to come in and they're just going to build on top of that foundation of let's do away with the free speech, and then let's start chipping away at their Second Amendment. Right. Like the First Amendment, free speech, religion, all that stuff can only be backed up if you have the Second Amendment. And I'm no scholarly fucking Constitution expert, but, it makes sense, right? Number one has a lot of good things in there, the First Amendment. A lot of great things. Things that other countries wish they had. But we only have the power to back that up because we have number two. Right? Okay. So and that's where we get into the bipartisan power push, right? Everything on both sides, they pass their own laws, but it all ends up being in the same direction, which is to take away rights and impose more control over the people. And for some of us, right, I say us because I'm with you. I'm part of the people. I don't want to say you and make it like a you thing. It's us. Are very comfortable with that comfortability. Oh yeah, no, they've got everything, right? We saw during COVID and stuff. Oh no, which again, I fucking had to wear my mask, right? Going on base a lot, like it's I get it, I was complicit in it too. All right, always the first to raise their hand when I fucked up, but they're both pushing those laws in the same direction, and we get comfortable with them laws, and we get comfortable being safe, right? Oh no, they got it. Oh, we should let the police handle it, right? And it's really weird, man, right? If you look at it like the right side, fucking bootlicking ass, fucking like these I just saw someone else post something really good about it, right? It's like this hero complex of like the special forces community. They're talking about someone specific on there, but the glorification of it all. And how so many of these people are like, at one point, they're like, fuck the government, fucking Ruby Ridge, if you know about it, read a book. Waco even, right, where that arrest was pretty fucking crazy. But if you read books about how it happened, the FBI and them and ATF were pretty fucking crazy too, right? But that's all kind of the government overreach of things and them just going crazy and wild with what they think they can do. And with the laws that are in place, right? So when we go down that road, it's always pushing it in the direction of more control, more power for them, less power for us, more power for the government, more control for the government, less for you. And then we get just like rock a baby, like lullaby baby, go to sleep. That's what happens to the people. Right. And right now it's happening to the right. We'll just say the right, because much of the right wants illegal immigrants, especially the harmful ones that have been caught for bad things, to be deported. I think everyone should want that, right? If you're a criminal and you're here illegally, like, one, I think it's illegal to be here. Illegal immigrant is one crime, but now you're here doing more crime. I think you should be deported. Okay. And then everything else, we could talk about that on another episode. Like, there's other ways, other paths. There should be, a whole overhaul of immigration to try to make it better. But that doesn't mean everyone just gets in for free, however, whenever they want, right? Cool. But criminals that have done bad things should not be here. Move them. Get them out. Cool. All right. Let's just leave that at that. But at the same time, like, we're being super rockabye baby to having these masked agents around America in cities, where it will become the norm just to see mass agents around in the cities. And I'm not making any correlation to other history about that. I'm just speaking strictly from that's where we're going, right? You can see that, like, I like how like art imitates life, and how if you watch a lot of different movies and stuff, you see this in different movies, and it seems like, yeah, no, that's probably not gonna happen. But like when you start seeing it in real life, you start thinking, wow, is that possible? Read some books. Really good books have it too, right? If you don't want to watch the movie. But like I said, it's more power for the government, regardless who's in charge, right? And it doesn't feel that way, because when you're taking a side, you feel, yeah, my side's winning, except your side isn't winning. You're not winning. Your side, those political people getting in power, they're winning, right? You're not winning. You're losing. You're losing rights. You're losing freedom. Every fucking new thing is a little bit of loss of that. Right. So what does that do? That detracts from the real issue. Right. We are blind to what is really happening because they keep pivoting us against each other. Right. And that's not to say you shouldn't go stand on what you believe, but you shouldn't be attacking a fellow citizen for what they believe. You should be looking at the government. You should be questioning the politicians you voted for, right? The ones you voted for, not the ones in some other country, the state, county, right? You can ask those questions. I just asked, like, what the fuck is DeSantis doing in Israel signing bills for an American state? That don't make sense. I can't do nothing about that. I don't live in Florida. You do. You vote there. Right? Where I'm at, where I vote, I look at that record and I see what they're doing, and I pay attention to that too, and I see what's going on. And I want to make the best decision for that. Right? Because they should be representing me. I'm a constituent. Somewhere else in some other state, they're not the constituent. I am. I'm the one that lives here in this county, this district that you fucking are supposed to be in Congress representing. Right? So why aren't you listening to me? Look how many of them fucking travel around the country, around the world, doing this and that. Like, what the fuck? What? Look at Governor Newsom with his podcast and how much, when he was on that debate and he's debating DeSantis and stuff, that was all a fucking him getting ready for the presidential run in 3 years. What the fuck is he doing for California? Why aren't you in California working? Get the fuck to work there. You're the governor of California, not the governor of Democrats, liberals of America. What the fuck? That shit drives me crazy, man. It drives me crazy. Same thing with like Bernie and AOC doing their tour, right? Why are you, or at least like don't try to tell me it's a fucking, tell me what it is. Like, you guys are just getting practice runs in for your next presidential run or whatever. That's what you're really doing. Just be for real, all right? Don't lie. But if you're doing that, I think you should just be removed from office. Because you're not working, you're not doing the job for your people. So that's where they're always trying to pivot us against each other, right? Oh, no, you're over there in that tribe. You have to fight this tribe because that tribe's going to try to take your fucking milk money. That's what they do to us. And we fall for it all the time, right? And it distracts from the real battle, from the real issue, is that state control is creeping more and more and more. And now I know some of you want that. Some of you are all for the socialists. Some of you for the communist. Some of you are for take away from the rich, take away from those who have more and give it to the less. Except eventually one day you might be the one with more, and I bet you don't want what you have to be taken away. It's true, right? There's always somebody with a little bit more than you, and sometimes you're the one with a little bit more than the person, quote unquote, below you with a little bit less. Just something to think about. All right, so where are the Christians? I don't know. I'm at home. Where I wrote that was, I was talking to chat with this, kind of going back and forth. I like to have the conversations with it. People are asking where are the Christians at to help. I think the illegal immigrants are to stand up for the injustice. And, I have a really hard one. Okay, I don't want to say I'm a new Christian, but newly baptized, right? But I just want to be like, many, not all, generalization here, many don't believe that we're a Christian nation. Many don't believe the Christian beliefs that are on that left side. Even on the right side, there are many that don't, but more on the left. But why are you coming to us now? I'm going to say that again, all these are generalizations. Why are you going to come to the Christians or ask that question aloud now? Like, where are you guys? Like, where are you? Why aren't you standing with Jesus? Why aren't you having the Christian beliefs? Why do you think it is our responsibility as good Christians to now go help and do all these things? Why don't you be a good Christian with us and we could all help each other? That's kind of where my head starts spinning when I see someone post something like that. When I see the feet thing washing from a few years ago, when I see people posting about, Christians should be doing more. Well, some Christians, want to do more. Some people want to make it a Christian nation. Not saying it should be or shouldn't, right? But when Christian talk starts becoming more popular, and when it starts spreading, right, which from different things I watch, there is a very big, very large increase in Christian beliefs and religious beliefs, and in this Gen Z movement, which I think is awesome, right? But there is a big increase in it, big belief system increase, whatever. I don't know how to say it really, but there's more young people coming to faith. And I think that's cool. But what about the people, the millennials and the Gen Xers, like my age, that don't believe or never believed, but they're the ones out there marching and this and that. And now they're looking back at the Christian, why aren't you guys out here with us? Well, why haven't you been with the Christians the whole time? Why haven't you been treating your neighbors like how we try to treat our neighbors? And that's not to say every Christian treats their neighbor great. It's not to say that, right? Don't try to cut me up and twist my words. I'm just saying, I think if we all did that, if we tried harder to be better Christians, then I think we'd all be better neighbors to each other, right? I don't know. You tell me in the comments below how you feel about it. As for me, what am I going to do? Where am I at? I'm right here. Beyond this, my government employment does not allow me to go do anything, and I wouldn't go do anything, right? I think it's sad for what's happened to the people, right? I think you have to have some sense of awareness of yourself, though. Like when you're going out into danger, which it is dangerous, danger is going to find you. If you're looking for it, it's going to find you. So if you're going to go out there and do it, I support you, right? I support you as in, it's not like a freedom to protest, because it's rioting. I think it's rioting, right? Protesting comes with having to do with, getting the permission slips, this and that. And maybe you could say, well, we shouldn't have to do that. Okay, then go. Cool. It's one of those laws that we talked about that are impeding us. Fine. But it's a law. So right now, I guess we have to follow it, or there should be some organized peaceful protest. That's what we're talking about. These are organized, but they're not peaceful. They're not made to be peaceful. They're made to interrupt. Okay? And if you're going to do that, again, we the people, right? We the people, I think, should and can do that when appropriate. But we should not be doing it against each other. We should not be doing it trying to say it's only these abolish ICE. You know, if we the people need to rise up, then we need to translate that better to the government is tyrannical and we the people should do something about it. I think that's where you really got to communicate your message better. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying, like, that's why we have these first, second, third, fourth, all these other amendments, right? Is for things like that. But again, we've been split for so long and the media continues to split us that we think that if we get our side in power, that this will go away. And it will not. You will get your side in power and you'll feel like it's your turn to put the boot of government, the government boot onto the necks of your opposer. And we're just going to keep doing this back and forth every 4 to 8 years until finally the people can realize that's not your neighbor or your fellow citizen with a different point of view. That's the bad guy here. That's all we got for today. Hey, don't forget, most importantly, these views and opinions that are expressed here are only of mine. Do not represent anything or anyone else. I got a disclaimer down in the description. I'm just Josh Moore giving a American citizen opinion on what he thinks today. That's all we got. I know I took some time off. Needed to. I was out traveling, doing some work, and I failed. I didn't get a video out every day. We'll see how it goes from here on though. All right, we out.